With more children expected to be born, families will think about where their kids can go to school, and that means an upgrade in the country's education system. For more on this, I spoke to Baozhen Luo, Associate Professor at Western Washington University, and asked what she thought were the highlights of the education plan.
It's quite promising. It's looking into providing free education, free vocational education, free secondary high school education for those from the more sort of impoverished background. That's a tremendous way to not only give more equal education opportunity for everyone, but at the same time, it's an attempt to really increase the quality of its future labor force.
So help us understand this hukou program in China, because I think a lot of us watching, at least on the other side of the pond, may not fully understand the relationship between education and also the hukou.
Yeah, the hukou system essentially it's a household registration system. Whatever your parents' hukou is, household registration is pretty much determine your household registration, your hukou system. And more importantly, the kind of public services, your education, the kind of healthcare, the kind of social security, retirement benefits are all attached to your household registration, your hukou.
When you talk about Social Security, that was one of the big points in the 5-year plan that was announced. They were going to provide more services, especially to the elderly. I know that's something that a lot of experts have been asking for. I wanted to get your reaction on that. If you thought, number one, I assume you like it, but is it enough to appease those critics out there?
I think the plan just came out yesterday, did not really articulate specifically how they are going to sort of extend the coverage to all the population, 100%. My speculation is they really want to encourage and provide incentives for those who did not get to participate in the individual account, not the basic benefit, but individual accounts. And those people are the migrant workers. Those people are the rural peasants who are very hesitant to participate in an individual account to contribute to their future retirement in 20 or 30 years.
Why are they hesitant?
Because they have the most pressing need right now. They need to send their children for school. Oftentimes in urban area, they need to think about building houses, so their son can have a marriage. So they have the very, very pressing need right now, and which make them hesitant to look into the future.
The other big announcement, we go from the more elderly to the more young, is the announcement of the one-child policy to the two-child policy now. And one of the thoughts that came across was, that's a great idea. The one exception is that if people say, yes, let's all have more kids, is there the educational infrastructure in place to handle the influx? Maybe not in the first couple of years, but at least when they get to 4 or 5.
Right now, the preschool kindergarten education is not part of the 9-year mandatory free public education in China. So one of the suggestions a lot of experts talked about is how can they include the K through 9. China may need to initiate the K through 9 free public education.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that's come up with a lot of experts is that they've said people aren't going to have more kids because it's already very expensive to have the one child. What can the government do if you were to recommend policies that would encourage, I suppose, for lack of a better word, more births?
For the government to really see effect in this two-child policy, they have to really seriously looking into provide more family support, more early child education support, and more elderly services. And only with those kind of supports, people will be more confident in their ability to have two children.